Everyone, let's go take a look at the iPhone 12 and compare it against the iPhone 12 mini and see which particular iPhone is the better one for you. Now, there are some advantages for each one of these phones, which we'll talk about throughout this video, but if you want to pick up these phones or some other ones I'd recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones, the iPhone 12 mini, which came out in 2020, both these phones came out in 2020. On the front of this one, it has a 5.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. Now, it's a very good looking panel. I'm a fan of it for the most part. I love that Apple gave us this very high resolution panel, higher than the iPhone 11 even at that, but it's a much smaller phone. It feels much smaller in the hand, but they didn't really skimp out on anything major. There were some things that they did skimp out in, like battery life and battery size, but for the most part, the build quality is still very, very good. The display is very good, the camera is exactly the same as the iPhone 12, and overall it's still a very good looking device nonetheless, and I'm a very big fan of this particular device when it comes down to it. On the iPhone 12, the standard one, you are now getting, well, we've been getting a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. It is a bigger phone, it's a noticeably bigger phone as well, so you're definitely going to notice this phone being bigger overall than like the iPhone 12 mini. But it's still, like, it isn't even that big of a device. Like, this one feels fairly normal to me. The iPhone 12 mini feels smaller. So that's kind of the best way to kind of put it. You're still getting the notch up top, flat sides all throughout, and overall still a very good looking phone too. I'm a big fan of the iPhone 12, and I'm a very big fan of the iPhone 12 mini as well. But I do think the 12 is probably the one that fits better in my hand. But the choice is yours. If you like a smaller phone, you can go for the 12 mini. For the rest of the body, you can also kind of tell what's going on here too. And I definitely do like both of them. You can see the 12 mini is a substantially smaller phone. Look how much smaller it is than the iPhone 12. I mean, that right there is like a pretty big difference. It's also much slimmer, like if you look from the top. I mean, look at how much like more narrow it is than the iPhone 12. You're still getting your buttons on the side too, ringer on off switch, SIM cards in the same exact place as well. Nothing at the very top. On the bottom, you are getting your lightning ports, which is really cool. I love having lightning, and you're basically going to be getting that type of capability on both these devices with your speaker grills at the bottom too. On the back side, you're basically going to be getting a very cracked back on my iPhone 12 mini. Hopefully you don't have to buy one that has this bad of a crack. You're getting your wide and ultra wide cameras at the very top. You get your standard glass backs, your wireless charging. You're getting your MagSafe capability here too. So all those MagSafe accessories will work perfectly on these types of iPhones, which is really cool. And overall, I will definitely tell you, with this particular device, they're very similar. There's really not too many differences here. You're basically going to be getting almost the exact same device on one or the other. Really, the only big differences on the outside is the size, and then possibly, like I said before, the battery size too. Because the iPhone 12 mini is a smaller phone, it is going to be giving you a smaller, oversized battery than the iPhone 12. So beyond that, not that big of a difference. The smallest difference, though, is probably with software. You're going to be getting the exact same software experience on both of these devices. So that's basically that. Like whether you're getting the iPhone 12 mini or you're getting the other iPhone, the iPhone 12 or 12 mini, it's exactly the same lasting phone. But how long is that lasting? You're basically going to be getting a phone that's going to be lasting probably for another, I don't know, like another 3 years with software. I think that's kind of the best way to put it. Again, we have no idea. It's going to be kind of all over the place. But I definitely would tell you when it comes down to it, you're going to be getting a very long lasting phone on both. And you're still going to be getting 2 to 3 years of software updates for the most part between both as well. So there's not really that much to complain about here from that perspective. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between them. The iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 mini both have the Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So they have the exact same type of performance as well. There theoretically shouldn't be any difference from the performance side, but let's go and see if there's going to be any differences. I mean, you never really know, so let's go and check it out. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cut out in the background, so let us get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, 2 different panels. Music 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think the iPhone 12 may have been a little bit faster there. So I'm going to get into their app stores 3, 2, 1. And you can kind of see here, not really that crazy big of a difference happening out of this one. Let's go kind of scroll through. Let's see if there's any big differences here. And almost more or less the exact same thing. If we want to, we can click into this one. And it's going to be kind of the same thing too. Not really that big of a difference. Basically the same thing all across the board. Let's get into calendar 3, 2, 1. About the same thing. Photos 3, 2, 1. Okay. Pretty good stuff going on here too. Let's get into camera 3, 2, 1. Okay. Perfect. Let's take a photo 3, 2, 1. And I will tell you, even from this perspective, you can kind of see that the iPhone 12 did kind of get into it a little bit better overall than the iPhone 12 mini. Very surprising stuff going on here. Let's go and open up this photo. 3, 2, 1. This table seems very rocky to me. Kind of the same thing. Hopping out of these two. Male, 3, 2, 1. I think the 12 is slightly faster. Let's go into notes. 3, 2, 1. And I think the 12 was slightly faster there. Reminders, 3, 2, 1. I think this one may have been a little bit faster from that perspective. Clock, 3, 2, 1. About the same thing too. Let's go into news, 3, 2, 1. So there's definitely going to be a lot of overlap here, and I don't think one is going to be substantially faster than the other one. Kind of see the same thing here too. Apple TV, 3, 2, 1. About the same thing. Let's go into settings, 3, 2, 1. About the same thing too. Let's get into Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. It's going to be, again, not the biggest intensive game of all time, but it's still like a good one to kind of test out sometimes. Downloading content. Okay, this one to get into the pop-up. Very, very annoying. It's so unfortunate that happened. But I generally do think it probably would have been around the same thing when it came down to it. Again, you're getting kind of the same type of experience between both, and there's not going to be like these massive differences between one or the other when you're getting these types of devices as far as I can tell. So you kind of see here going through between all these kind of the same thing. Let's click play, and I definitely do think, again, if I'm going to go through and get a device, you're really going to be getting very much the same type of performing device when it comes down to it between each one. So you can see between this one or this one, pretty much the same type of thing, and that's kind of what's going to happen when you're getting these types of devices. They're very similar. There is a lot of overlap here, and I don't think there's going to be one device over the other one that I look at and be like, oh my goodness, this is the better one from a performance side. It's identically almost the exact same thing, and I've owned these phones for a lot of years now, and it's been the same thing since even day one. So that pretty much covers it up there. Now from the camera side, once again, basically almost exactly the same type of camera layout. You are not going to be getting any differences here from the camera side as far as I can tell. And it's been this case for so many years now. They're both giving you that dual camera setup, a wide camera and an ultra wide camera. Very cool. I love having that type of capability, and it's super awesome being able to basically utilize these cameras from that side. 4K 60 on the front and the back as well, which is another really cool thing. The iPhone 12 mini's camera is surprisingly cool because it actually does have, it's a smaller viewfinder, so it's a smaller phone, but it's giving you exactly the same type of experience as the iPhone 12. So you're still getting that 0.5x zoom, you're still getting 5x zoom on the inside, video mode, slow mode, time lapse, you're getting portrait mode, panorama mode. There's a lot of cool stuff going on for this particular camera, and it still is a very, very good lens when it comes down to it. Now, with the iPhone 12, this is also a very solid camera, and I'm a big fan of it. It's exactly the same thing as the iPhone 12 mini. So you're not going to be getting really any differences at all. Like I said, the difference is the size in the camera, or the size and the battery life. The camera and everything else is exactly the same. So you're getting video mode, photo mode, portrait mode, panorama mode. Very, very similar stuff all across the board. You're getting 5x zoom here, which is really cool, and then you're getting 0.5x zoom on the outside. I definitely do think if you're going through and actually purchasing a device, this is a very solid option, and even like 3x zoom on the video is not even that terrible, to be honest, but it's still not that great. I think the iPhone 12 overall, and the 12 mini are very similar phones, and you're not really going to go from one device to the other. They are very similar all across the board, and that's kind of what's going to end up happening when you get both of these devices. Me personally, I like the iPhone 12 and I love the iPhone 12 mini, and I think both these devices are very good. Like if I'm going to go ahead and buy a device, you can't really go wrong with either one of these. It really depends on which size do you like. Do you like the iPhone 12 mini size, or do you like the 12 size? If you like the 12 and the bigger battery life, go for the 12. If you like the smaller size but it can give up a little bit of battery life, go for the 12 mini. So that pretty much covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.